The thread of love. The Greenfields County Club dining room looked exactly as I remembered it 20 years ago. A few improvements and changes, but nothing drastic. "John, over here!" Don Wilson waved to me from a small table by the window overlooking the front lawn. We exchanged the usual greetings and made ourselves comfortable. "So, John, what brings you here after such a long absence?" Nothing much. My wife and I just decided we were ready for a change after both kids went to college. We weren't well off enough for Florida, so we decided to spend a few years at home. At this point, we are just renting a place to live. Are you working? Yes, in fact, I'm still working at Sanders Chemical. I managed to get a reverse transfer. I feel like I never left. Sharon got a secretarial job at a local company. How about you? Still selling Chevrolets. I can't imagine doing anything else. For some reason, I feel like I found my calling. When you feel like selling, give me a call. Hey, no fair. You're not allowed to do business during lunch. Our food was brought to us, and we continued to chat about family, kids, and old friends. It was bright and cozy. It was nice to be back. As we were finishing up, Don pointed across the room to a couple who had just walked in. This is a new addition to the community. I'm sure you'll meet him soon. This is B.J. Stryker and his wife, Rose. The name sounded familiar. What's his claim to fame? He's vice president of marketing at Gilbert Industrial. Now I realized why the name seemed so familiar. Don took a sip of coffee and continued. Stryker is a nightmare for HR. Everyone's just waiting for the hatchet to come down. All right, Don, get to the point. What are you trying to say? This guy's a scumbag and he gets away with it. He's always hiring new personal assistants. They usually last less than a month. Every once in a while he finds someone who stays and they seem happy for about a year, and then he fires them. Is he that bad to work for or what? Like I said, he's scum. I gave Don a weird look, so he leaned forward and started talking quietly. After he hires them, he starts sweet-talking them. From what I understand, he's trying to convince them to do him good. He is cool and does it very slowly. They are all hired on a 60-day probationary period. If he can convince them within 60 days, they get promoted. If not, they get fired. A few complaints have been filed so far, but nothing solid enough for them to press charges against him. Does he make love to them? No, never happens. He claims he loves his wife and will not cheat on her. As far as we know, all he ever did was force them. And after a year, he gets bored with them and goes off to find a new one. Yes, but he's picky. He will only hire married women. I think he feels safer that way. We chatted some more, and I kept watching Stryker. He was good-looking and seemed quite charismatic. It was easy to see how he could be successful at what he was doing. Before we left, Don and I agreed to meet up later in the month. The rest of the day, I was completely useless at work. By the time I got home, Sharon had just finished setting the table. How was your lunch with Don? I'm sure you guys had a lot to talk about. It was great. Don and June are coming over next Sunday for dinner. You girls can spend the whole evening catching up. Is he still selling cars? Yeah, and he still seems to enjoy it. So how was your day? Any exciting news from Gilbert Industrial? I was going to wait until after dessert to tell you, but yes, I do have some good news. My wife had a big smile on her face as she shared her news with me. I got a raise and a promotion today. I think I'm really going to enjoy working for Mr. Stryker.